あ、こんにちは。
どうもどうも。オリバーさん、こんにちは。元気ですか？
元気ですよ。元気ですか？
はい、おかげさまで元気です。えーっと、今日は質問はありますか？
えっと、I have like kind of a random question. It's not really
Okay.
related to what we're talking about.
Uh-huh.
Uh, so, I think I heard a form of undes form.
Okay.
It's nani shite na.
何していいんだ probably.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Cause nani shite no aren't like no and na forms of like nominalizing.
No is. No and but na is not.
Oh, okay.
So actually, if you look at the index form file today, uh,
Uh, the undes form?
はい。
In study guides.
はい。It's in the study guides folder.
Ah,
Okay. So in this form, this is formal. So uh, plain would be da,
ah.
right? Okay. Now, how do you say, what are you doing?
Well, you can say nani o shimasu ka?
That is what will you do? So
Oh,
it's the same it's sometimes in English, but what are you doing? Like, you mean right now? It's different, right?
yeah, like nani o shite masu ka?
何をしていますか Right, right, yeah. Uh, 何をしていますか？
Doshitemasu ka?
どうしていますか？ Okay, what does that mean?
Why are you doing?
Mhm.
What's do?
Do is how.
Exactly.
Mm.
How are you doing?
How are you doing? But it's more like a how have you been doing?
Oh,
Yeah. But this how is not pure how, I don't think. どうしていますか is a bit like how have you been doing as well as what have you been doing? Yeah. It's kind of like what you've been up to. Yeah. So, uh, so that's どうしていますか But if you're going to say, what are you doing? It's different. So 何をしていますか is what Oliver said, right?
Yeah.
Um, but and it's grammatically correct, but you don't ever hear that. Yeah. So this is when you want to use, so what are you doing? Yeah.
何をしているんですか？
何をしているんですか Exactly. 何をしているんですか But most of the time, the O is dropped. Because, 何してるんですかしているんですか
Wait, so maybe I heard Nani shite tanda as a question without ka.
That's possible. 何していたんだ Yeah, sure. 何してるんですか何しているんですか何してるんですか Yeah, so, 何してるんですか Something like this. 何してるんですか Okay, let's see. 何してるんですか All right. So let's take a look at in this table. And okay, so do you guys see note 4? The plain form of a question ending with んですか, which is this sentence, right? 何しているんですか? So this is exactly it, right? Everyone? You follow me?
Yes.
Okay. So the plain form of that is 何しているんだ with the following intonation.
Nani shite irunda.
はい、そうです。何してるんだ何してるんだ without the ka at the end.
Right.
Yeah. Now, ending the question with no instead of using this ka sounds casual and softer. So 何してるの So go up at the end. You see, the pronunciation is no o. You almost like you need to add extra mora, the o vowel at the end. So 何してるの That sounds a little bit softer. 何しているんだ is like kind of aggressive.
What are you doing?
Yeah, exactly. Even the English sentence, right? What are you doing? Can sound like, what the hell are you doing?
Yeah.
Right? Which can mean like stop it, right? Because, yeah. And it's the same thing, just because of the nature of the sentence. Yeah. So, 何してるの That's softer. But if you end the statement sentence with no, then it's gonna sound feminine because it's so soft. So let's see. 何してるんだ And Oliver said, yeah, the sentence you said was, what that you heard was 何しているんだ You thought that's what you heard?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So that's probably it. My guess is that.
Yeah.
I mean, it can be 何していたんだ, sure, but it doesn't really make a big difference. What are you doing versus what were you doing? 何しているん
I'm sorry, what was the context again?
Oh,
Is there a context, Oliver?
yeah, I was watching Dan Dan Dan, the anime.
I think I picked up on that line in Gundam Unicorn.
Yeah, so 何してるんですか? 何してるんだ? Yeah, this is pretty aggressive. So you might not hear it often.
Or only in anime.
Kind of. But you know what you hear often is this. 何して,何してんの? 何して, 何して, 何してんの? Yeah, okay. 何して, no, this. 何してんの? 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 Yeah, with the following intonation. So this is very casual. And you hear this very often. So what's hidden, maybe I can put that here, is いる.
Is it casual, like with family or roommates or?
Friends. Yeah. And then of course, it depends on how the person usually talks and who the person is talking to as well. So for example, I tend to speak, how do I even speak? I generally speak politely, but sometimes I speak very casually. So, and of course, the person who I'm talking to as well. And I was just thinking, if I were to ask Patrickson, like, hey, what are you doing? I probably wouldn't say 何してんの? Because actually, I'm going to have this after this. Just because, we've had this teacher-student relationship for a long time. And it's not like we hang out outside of the lesson situation, class situations often. So it's different. But at the same time, Patrick's personality is pretty laid back. He has a very fun personality as well, right? So that's why I would say, 何してんですか?
Hmm.
何してんですか?
You're dropping the iru totally.
Yeah, 何してんですか? Yeah. So I'm still speaking politely because the death is there, right? Yeah. But dropping the iru. And you hear this very often. And when you start to speak casually like this, particles like the topic marker wa, subject marker ga, and the object marker o, they get dropped first because they are super, super obvious in the sentence, in like each sentence. And when you start to speak casually like this, you kind of need to drop these particles like o. Otherwise, it starts to sound funny, actually. Yeah. If I said, 何をしてんですか? or 何を、何をしているんですか? 何をしているんですか? Yeah. So if I just said, 何をしてんですか? without いる, it sounds very strange. 何をしてんですか? It's kind of like the only equivalent that I can express is kind of like, what's up, sir?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
It
can
just
hear
doesn't,
the
it's
aspect.
not very coherent, right? It doesn't match. What is it, Aaron-san?
No, I can understand. I can hear if like someone's being like sarcastic.
Right. Yeah. Because of incoherency, inconsistency, there's a gap, wide gap, right?
Mhm.
Yeah. So 1C, 何してんですか is just casual. Casually polite, I guess. Or politely casual. That sounds better, doesn't it?
Right.
I feel like that makes sense. Politely casual. 何してんの? Very casual. And actually I forgot. 何しているんだ? Okay, so that's aggressive. And actually, I forgot. This is what Oliver meant to say, I think. 何してんだ? Nani shitenda. So following intonation. Nani shitenda. And often it has yo at the end. Nani shitenda yo. Have you guys heard that before? I feel like you have.
Not that I can recall.
Yeah. Yeah. Aggressive. Authoritative, maybe. 何してるんだ? So I'm going to have to change the lettering here. And I'm pretty sure 1C is what Oliver heard. 何してんだ? Yeah. Was it an anime or what was it?
It's from the anime Dandadan.
Okay. I've never heard of it. But since it's anime, 何してるんだ? 何してん? Yeah, it can be either 1B or 1C, I think. And 1C, you hear this often too. 何してんだよ? It's like, that's like aggressive. What are you doing? Like, what the hell are you doing? Like, what do you think you're doing? Type of tone. And 1D, 1E, the last two, everyday casual. Yeah. As well as 1A, I forgot to mention. You hear this very often. 何してるんですか? Especially like, hey, what are you doing recently? 最近何してるんですか? And if you make it the past tense, 何していたんですか？ You know, maybe I should do the entire set in the past tense because you hear this all the time. And
I don't see too much difference between A and D.
yeah, it's just the casual or not.
Oh, D just drops either.
Exactly, exactly.
How could you drop ita? How could you drop the past tense? What were you doing?
That's a good question. So that's what I'm about to do. So here we're gonna have whoa, capital.
That sounds aggressive.
I know.
Capital letters.
Capital. 何していたんですか? That's what are you doing, right? And 何していたんだ? And then 何して Okay, so this is what I need to do. 何してたんだよ?
I dropped the E.
はい。Yeah. But you keep the tense. The tense is in the ta, letter ta, right? 何してたんだ? 何してたんだよ? And 何してたんですか?
なるほど。
はい。何してたんですか? This sound throws off people a lot. 何してんの? 何してたんですか? 何してた? 何してたの? Oops. 何して、Oops. 何してたの? 何してたの?
That makes sense, but now I remember it's common for people to drop the E for the present form too, right? But in this situation, what are you doing? You just drop the whole thing. Iru instead of just the E from iru.
何していたんだ?
何してるんですか?
何してたんだよ。何していたんですか? 何してたんですか? 何してたの? 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 何してたのを like that. So now I can start asking you guys this question. 今日は何してたんですか? That's 2D. ラリーさん、今日は何してたんですか?
最初は、起きた。
わあ、起きた。
そうですよ。
なるほど。
はい。
それはイベントフォーですね。
はい。その後、クラスです。
その後クラス。なるほど。
すいません。
素晴らしい。
うん
パムさんは今日何してたんですか？
働いていた？
働いていたんですか？なるほど。オリバーさんは今日何してたんですか？
今日は音楽作ります。
音楽作ります。
作れています。
何してたんですか？音楽作ります。皆さん、音楽作りますの意味は何ですか？ ラリーさんどうですか？
making music?
音楽作ります。
音楽は、
Oh, I will make music.
そうです。Yeah.
うんうんうんうんうん。
Yeah. So, but what's the question though? 何してたんですか？
What was I doing?
そうなんです。
音楽を作った。
You made music.
はい。
はい。What were you doing? I made music.
音楽を作っていた。
音楽を作っていました。
作っていました。
そうです。はい。Yeah. So you want to match the tense. Like, what were you doing with I was making? So, アロンさんは今日何してたんですか？
私も働いていた。
なるほど。And then you want to match, most of the time, you want to match the Desmos form. So
う
if
ん。
the question is, 何してたんですか?
うん。
You want to match the Desmos form as opposed to plain.
私も働いていました。
なるほど. Yeah. So it's like that. Yeah. Most of the time, that's just safe way to speak. You're not going to sound like rude or really immature if you just, match. And what Pam-san said earlier, どうしていますか, right? If someone said 最近どうしていたんですか? So that can sound like, what have you been doing? So, as opposed to how have you been doing? I've noticed that sometimes the word どう is not, it gets translated as what? Like, so we were just looking at どうしていた, sorry, right, どうしていたんですか? And that's how have you been doing? But if you say どうしたんですか? どうしたんですか is always translated as what happened. Yeah, it's really interesting, I think. See, どうしたんですか?
He said, 最近どうしていますか was, what have you been doing?
どうしていますか you said.
Yeah, he said, 最近どうしていますか was, what have you been doing lately? Or,
Yeah, 最近どうしてますか? 最近どうしていますか sounds like, okay. Okay, let's see. I'm just going to add recently to it. Have you been doing recently? Is 最近どうしていますか? So, 最近どうしてますか?
Wait, so Saikin doesn't have the kanji saki?
Saki, is that what you mean?
Yeah, like the kanji for um uh yes, saki.
So let's see. Uh, shoot. Saki does not have kanji. Uh,
Oh, never mind. Sorry.
This is like most near, most close. Is that the
So
side most?
okay, here are some good words. Here. So we have saki and the sakini. Saki is a no adjective and a noun also. It means ahead or prior. Sakini is a ni adverb. And it means in advance, first or ahead. And saki is earlier, up to several hours ago.
Okay. And Senshu last week has Saki Shu, right?
Yes, yes, yes. Yeah. Sensei, the sen is the same. Senshu. Hmm. All right, never mind. Um, it's in the book. Yeah, senshu is like a prior week, I guess. All right, so 最近どうしてます最近、最近どうしていたんですか That sounds like what have you been doing? 最近どうしていたんですか最近どうしていたんですか But also, like, it's like what and how. It's a little bit not as strict as in English when we say what or how. 最近どうしていたんですか
So it's a general greeting, like, "Hey, what have you been up to? How are you?"
最近どうしていたんですか Yeah.
Like a
So,
general all-encompassing question.
最近どうしていますか Yeah, but yeah, if you see the person regularly, probably you don't really say this, right? Because when do we say, how have you been doing? right?
Usually I haven't seen someone in a while.
Yeah. And the while probably needs to be like, it depends on the relationship, I guess. How frequently you usually see.
Mm.
Yeah. If I didn't see Pam for like 2 weeks, that's a long time. So I might have to say, 最近どうしていたんですか? 最近どうしてたんですか? So that I might actually even drop the E. That's how I usually speak. 最近どうしてたんですか?
Mm.
I'm just going to flip A and B because this 最近どうしてたんですか is what's used more often.
Mm.
So this is used less.
Hmm. I think back in the day, the questions at Meetup were, 今週はどうでしたか?
今週はどうでしたか? Yeah, 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 yeah.
うん。
Back in the day, huh?
Back in the day.
どうしてたんですか?
I sometimes forget how long ago that was.
Back in the Mr. Natural days.
Oh, wow, yeah. どうしてたんですか?
Or before COVID even.
Yeah, the Saten days for me.
Yeah,
Oh, right, right.
when that Satin was still around.
うん。
最近どうしてたんですか? Yeah. So this is like general, what have you been up to recently? General, what have you been up to? So that's that. And note how 3A 最近どうしていた use the past tense, which is what had you been doing recently until the moment I saw you. Now I see you.
Mm.
最近どうしていますか? 最近どうしていましたか?
Ah,
最近どうしてますか? See, because 最近どうしていますか is not used very often. I think when I think about like when the expression is used is like a letter, handwritten letter.
Mm.
Maybe email, even email people. I don't know how common it is for people to get in touch with people who we haven't seen in a while.
Mm.
Because it's our communication method has moved on to social media, right? So
面白いですね。
面白いですね. So最近どうしていたんですか? So when
It almost sounds like you don't know what they like. Do they still have the same job, or are they doing a different job? And that would be a polite form of saying "stay, stay imaska."
And also online versus in person is different. So I should also add general, this is in person. What have you been up to? Because the moment the person is seeing you, the person has stopped what he or she has been doing already. Right?
Yeah, we don't need them to tell us what they're doing now because we can see it.
Exactly. Yeah. What are you doing? I'm looking at you or whatever,
Drinking this coffee.
Drinking
Depends on how much they post too.
Huh?
Depends on how much they post.
How much they post, you said?
Like how much they share.
Oh, and so social media. Right. Yeah.
You know everything about them already.
Yeah. So if it's social media and then, hey, what have you been doing recently? I haven't talked to you in a while, kind of thing. Then 最近どうしているんですか? Just use a present form. So do I need to add that too? So
Here. Oh,
this like 3A2. General online. How about that? 最近どうしているんですか? るですよ。
But you haven't seen them in a while.
Yeah. 最近どうしていますか? Used less, maybe in a letter.
More formally.
Formal, yeah. I mean, it's in the must form, right? First of all. So it is formal. 最近どうしていましたか? 最近どうしていましたか? So that needs to be said in person. 最近どうしていましたか? I don't know. I guess it can be used, but 最近どうしていましたか? When you're in person, 最近どうしていたんですか? That's what's used. Yeah. But you want to remember どうしたんですか? For sure. What happened? And if you say 何したんですか? どうしたんですか? If you translated it like literally, it's how did you do it? どう is how. And but if you say 何したんですか? That sounds like what did you do? Yeah. What did you do or what have you done? And of course, all is hidden.
Like you had been, maybe the night before you'd been talking to a friend and they were trying to decide between two things, and then the next day you're like, what did you do? Which one did you do?
I would say どうしたんですか? あの後どうしたんですか? So what happened? Yeah. 何した? あの後、昨日の夜何したんですか? Yeah, the reason why I wouldn't say 何したんですか would be, I think it needs to be a little bit more specific, like あの後何したんですか? Add time piece to it. Yeah, because that's what you're asking about after you split. So 何したんですか? To me sounds like I was hanging out with you last night. What do you mean? That's my first reaction. So あの後何したんですか? あの後どうしたんですか? Yeah. Yeah.
I'm making up all kinds of stories.
Yeah, sure. You should try writing, becoming a
Yes.
writer.
Yeah.
Technical writer.
日本語で。
日本語で。Yeah.
vertical text.
There you go. Yeah.
That seems so extreme, going to that vertical writing.
And if you want
right to left.
like so 4A, what happened? So it's using the desk form, right? So it's still formal, polite. If you want to
Mm.
be a little bit more aggressive, how would you do it?
どうしたの?
That's pretty soft, remember?
Mm.
If you end it with do, no.
どうしたよ?
That's not here. Look at what we did, what we done today.
Mm. どうしたんだ?
どうしたんだ? Exactly. So
どうした
remember
んだ
these.
よ?
Yeah, どうしたんだよ. So remember these changes, how these expressions change. どうしたんですか? どうしたんだ? And if you want to speak casually or a little bit more softly, how would you say that? Anyone? How do you make this car
したの?
casual?
どうして
Exactly. どうしたの? Exactly ですよ。どうしたの? どうしたの? Yeah. So, oops. Yeah, this is like a really I mean, the conversational stuff. So intonations do matter. Intonation matters, like pitch accent matters, matter too. Yeah. So you hear this very often. どうしたんだ? You hear this often too, because, whenever we say what happened, sometimes it can be kind of tense situation, right?
うん。
Yeah. Women would say どうしたの? "どうしたんだ?" If it's probably a man, aggressive and authoritative. So in like emergency case, people more like people in in authority might say that, right?
What if you're just really curious what your friend did?
And then how do you talk to your friend?
Like persistent kind of?
Like I would think I'm really curious what happened.
Yeah, but the question is, how do you
After
talk to
they
that
after the
person?
police. Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah.
Your
So-
buddy after they got picked up by the police.
Yeah, but like, how do you talk to your friend? In your mind too, even like, how do you talk to your friend?
Hey, tell me what happened after you got picked up.
Right. But that's the sentence, right?
Mm-hmm.
But how do you usually talk to this person?
Casually?
I
Casually?
don't think have an anxious tone. I don't know if there's a
Right, but anxious tone, but how you usually talk to the person is more important. Like, because what I mean is that, like, what's the relationship like? It's all about the relationship. And it means that, like, how you generally talk and what kind of personality you have, and then this friend you have. What kind of person is he, she, and how do you guys usually talk to each other?
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, what if like it was my child and they looked hurt? Would I ask them like "doshita no" because I'm like worried about them?
So it depends on your personality, first of all.
Oh,
So how do you usually, what's their relationship like? Because everyone's relationship is different. Some fathers are very like masculine, and they might not, they might not be like aggressive or anything like that, but the way the person speaks might be like pretty masculine, even when they talk to their like little girl or something. Some like you see it, right? Like
They
some
just
some fathers, they start to talk to their little girls like they are little girls themselves. Have you seen them? Right?
Yeah.
Like uh like what is this? Oh, you got your little balloon. Oh, okay. Like like
right.
one day so nice. Like say thank you, say thank you. Like thank you. Like they start to become like a little girl.
Mhm.
Whereas some other like masculine fathers, they're like they might just stand back and watch sometimes. Let the girl do explore her own world, or they might say thank you to the person, but like they don't become a little girl themselves.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
oh, so I understand now that it's not the way, it's not the tone in which you're talking it says something about you and not about what the person who you're talking to. Like if I
it's not
say,
just about that, right?
yeah, if I
Yeah,
say doshita, it's saying something about me. I'm more feminine. I'm more whatever. Like, uh,
yeah, softer. Yeah.
Maybe passive.
どうしたの? Not exactly passive, I don't think. Just
Hmm,
really soft.
got it.
Yeah.
And switching to no, like maybe change the tone of conversation to like if it's been like tense, changing to no would like help relieve the tension.
No, I don't think so.
Hmm.
Yeah. Because like soft is generally associated with feminine energy, right?
Mhm.
And um so it's kind of like what is this? Like depending on the certain situation, uh like some men like to or they can't really change. They are so masculine. They don't really know how to be soft.
Hmm.
Like um like even if they're not like overbearing or anything, they just don't know, right? It doesn't mean that the person is like a jerk or like overbearing or anything like that, but they're just kind of like so masculine, like almost blunt sometimes. uh and every time they say the sentence "what happened," they might always say it in the same way, like "what happened." um and some other people, they if they're not so masculine, they might actually speak in a lot of questions, like up talk. What happened? uh like uh let's see. uh oh, here I have a sentence. We decided to meet via Zoom today because of the snow. Some people say we decided to meet via Zoom today because of the snow. like goes up. Like, so it's like questioning. I've noticed that a lot of masculine people don't really do that. They can't even do it sometimes. Seems like. Now, people like that, when they suddenly just started to say, change the tone, like the person who always says, "What happened?" They say, "What happened?" You change the tone, like start asking softly. Is that gonna soften the tension? I don't think so. Just because the person starts to act like someone, talk like someone else, it's not gonna change, I don't think.
Right.
Yeah. So it was a like lengthy explanation, but it's hard to explain because we don't have this in English. We do a lot of things in the tone, right? Like going up or going down. So it's almost like a almost like a more animalistic language in a way. Like, when we give commands to dogs, you don't want to ask questions. Yeah. Well, you don't want to say sit. They're not going to sit down. You have to say sit. You don't have to like anchor the tone. English is more like that. Whereas in Japanese, we have actual words. How did we spend a whole hour talking about what have we been doing? I hope you guys got something out of this.
Always.
Okay.
Every little bit counts.
Every little bit, yeah. But I really want you guys to start using these though. Yeah. So whenever we see each other, start asking like, what were you doing today? 今日何してたんですか? That's a really good one. What was it? 2D. Politely casual. 今日は何してたんですか? Sometimes people say 何やってたんですか? Yeah, the other to do verb. So I had some sentences prepared for today, so we can use these next week.
Add another homework. We had a homework quest
Yeah, we did.
from last week.
Yeah, we couldn't meet in person for lesson also because. Right, yeah. So we're gonna do that next week also.
Right.
Let's. So the homework is. Who did the homework? Sentence. Everyone did it. Oh, great. Then yeah, then we'll do that next week. First thing. And then we're gonna do the other ones. じゃあ今日はここまでですね。
ありが
ありがとう
とうございます。
ございます。
ありがとうございました。
じゃあね。
はい、じゃあまた。